Hello and welcome to my video with Kevin. Can you move a little bit closer here with Kevin Conrad, my wonderful mentor. So for this video, we're going to discuss, as per the Teach Now platform, lessons that I'm going to teach during my first week. Classroom expectations and routines. We'll discuss a little bit. Learning standards, units, and objectives that will be covered while we're working in the classroom, and the Teach Now rubric that will be used to evaluate my performance. Okay, so I am planning to video some digital citizenship lessons with grade 4, and I'm planning to teach them this upcoming week, and I'm going to video these for my upcoming practice teaching. So digital citizenship refers to the responsible use of technology by anyone who uses computers, the internet, and digital devices to engage with society on any level. And my subject is ICT, and we use iPads in my class. I teach in the primary. So Kevin, why don't we just jump in and talk about classroom expectations / routines. The students are now aware of how they enter the classroom, how I meet them, how I hand out our digital devices, our iPads, and how we put them back at the end of the lesson. What are your ideas around how classroom expectation routines should go? Well, let's start with routines. What are your routines for?
My routines are that the students know what's expected at the start of the class. So with digital devices, they're not open or on. They know where to sit. They know to raise their hand when speaking, and be prepared for class.
Right. What I like, that's very similar to what I think. What I like to do at the start is to make rules of the class. Do you do that with your class?
I have some general ground rules, but I also like to get input from students so that they feel a part of the process.
Absolutely. So what I've been doing at the start of the term is I've been with every class, and I teach a lot of different classes, 6 different classes, grade levels. I've been putting on the board the rules for this class, and then taking a picture of that so we have a separate one for every class, and then referring back to that when necessary. Do you think that's a good idea, or what do you?
I think for the lower grades it can be a good idea because they tend to forget and they need that
Reminder,
Reminder,
right?
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, I think so. Another thing I'm working with grade 4 for this practice teaching. We're going to be using Google Classroom, so we've had to discuss how we're using that because there isn't the option for them to comment and chat in Google Classroom, so we've had to talk about behavior there. Have you ever had any issues with students commenting on any kind of platforms like Google Classroom?
With Google Classroom, the first thing I do is actually turn off commenting privileges for students, so that's never an issue there. Although we have had issues where students have commented on, say, one another's websites that they've built. That has been an issue. But no, aside from social media outside of school, it's not been an issue.
Interesting. So when you say websites they've built, what is this? Is this something you do in your design subject?
Yeah, what the students do is they create a portfolio of the work that they have done, and then also a placeholder for current upcoming projects, so that they can have a continuity and look back at what they've done throughout the MYP.
Excellent. And the MYP is?
The middle years program, part of the International Baccalaureate program.
Which is what we use in the middle school here at Stockholm International School, which is where we're teaching at. At my primary level, we are using the International Primary Curriculum, and this ties into the objectives for my classes, my grade 4 classes, which are to use Google Classroom appropriately while discussing appropriate online behavior. And this is again part of the International Primary Curriculum unit called Fit for Life. So the digital citizenship lessons are called My Media Choices, and we will focus on thinking about how all of our media choices are important. We will analyze what the students choose as media and what media is, and how media impacts society and them as individuals and individuals in general. So what do you think of that? Does that sound useful, interesting, something I should go forward with?
Yeah, I think it has a broad application for them as
Right.
learners.
Absolutely, I think it's really important. It's really an interesting part of my job. So what we'll be using as well as our own classroom expectations and routines, we'll be using the Teach Now clinical rubric, which I'd just like to go through a little bit here with you, Kevin, because this is something that's new for you. So we have, let's see, we have all these different standards here. We can see that there are 7, 8, 9, 10 different standards here. So we can go through quickly, so I don't want to take up too much time. But we have standard 1 is learner development. So this candidate understands how students grow and develop, recognizing that patterns of learning and development vary individually within and across the cognitive, linguistic, social, emotional, and physical areas, and designs and implements developmentally appropriate and challenging learning experiences. So we're going to be marked against all these standards here during our lessons, and we have some interesting guiding questions. Standard 2 is learning differences, which I will be concentrating on during my my VCs. So in this, the candidate uses understanding of individual differences, diverse cultures, and communities to ensure inclusive learning environments that enable each student to meet high standards. Now this is something that I'm very interested in working on, because I find that differentiation, especially with students who have learning differences or have language differences, because I teach students sometimes who come into the school who can't speak English, and that's something I need to really work on. So I find this a very interesting standard. Standard 3 is learning environments. The candidate works with others to create environments that support individual and collaborative learning, and that engage positive social interaction, active engagement in learning, and self-motivation. Standard 4 is content knowledge. Does the teacher understand the central concepts, tools of inquiry, and structure of the discipline they teach? So this, then we move on to Standard 5, application of content. Candidate understands how to connect concepts and use differing perspectives to engage students in critical thinking and collaborative problem solving. Standard 6 is something else I need to work on, which is assessment. At the moment I'm using Kahoot and other types of quiz for formative assessments, and but I need to work on growing with more summative assessments, so that's something I'm looking forward to working on. Standard 7 is planning for instruction, so obviously lesson plans and curriculum, as well as knowledge of students. Standard 8 is instructional strategies, which we need to understand and use a variety of instructional strategies to encourage students to develop deep understanding of content areas and to build skills to apply knowledge in meaningful ways. Standard 9, professional learning and ethical practice. So we need to engage in ongoing professional learning and use evidence to continually evaluate our practice. And the last one is leadership and collaboration. So candidate seeks appropriate leadership roles and opportunities to take responsibility for student learning, to collaborate with students, families, colleagues, other professionals. So I'm looking forward to working with these standards, and Kevin, obviously you'll be working with me with that, and I look forward to my teaching and growing as a teacher. Farewell!